Well, there you have it. The November index, consumer price index out about an hour ago. Prices up 2.7% in the last 12 months. White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett joins me now. Good morning, sir. Looks to me like inflation is cooling. You gotta like that.
Yeah, it was just an absolute blockbuster report. You know, before the numbers come out, we look at the forecasts from everybody we can find on Bloomberg. We've looked at 61 forecasts, and this number came in better than every single one of them. Yeah. Not a single economist surveyed by Bloomberg got it right. And the thing that I like to look at, Stu, and you've heard me say this for years and years since I've been on your show, is that we need the near-term trajectory is what's really important. And if you look at over the last 3 months and then annualize it, core inflation is only 1.6% now. And so basically what's happened is, as we predicted throughout this term, that if you really put the pedal to the metal on aggregate supply, then that's going to put downward pressure on prices, and that's what we're seeing. So we've got high growth, and we've got core inflation running at 1.6% if you look at the last quarter. And I think that's about where we should be. And don't forget, that's where we were last time. In President Trump's first term, we were growing in the 3% range, and we had inflation in the 1% range. And it looks like that's where we are again. So I think that I'm not saying we're going to declare victory yet on the price problem, but this is just an astonishingly good CPI report.
Now, the president, in his speech last night, he's promising an historic boost in take-home pay next year, 2026, and the largest tax refund of all. Listen to this.
Yep.
You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year, after years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time.
Kevin, he's saying this as a new Fox poll shows only 11% of voters think they're getting ahead with their finances. 44% say they're falling behind. Vice President Vance said, hey, we've got to have some patience. Kevin, when will people start to feel things tangibly improve?
Well, I mean, right now, if you look at what's happening with the lower inflation and the higher wages, you saw in the jobs report that that the latest wage number was that wages for the typical worker were up 3.7%. So if you're running 3.7% wage increases at 1.6% core inflation, then real wages are growing at a rate of about 2.5%. By our estimates right now, blue-collar workers have already seen an almost $2,000 raise this year after inflation because wages are growing so much faster than prices. I think that what happens in the end, and this is what happened in the first term, is that people will see it in their wallets. One of the things that I think is really interesting about what the president said last night, which is a very important point, is that we didn't pass the big beautiful bill until the middle of the summer, and so that a lot of the tax changes which affect last year weren't in any tax forms that people filled out at the beginning of the year. And so we are going to see the biggest refund cycle ever in the history of America, and people are going to get massive refund checks. So for the typical person who's a tip worker or gets overtime pay, we're expecting just that part of it alone to be worth a couple $1,000 refund. And we're going to definitely have a big PR campaign at the beginning of the year urging people to file early so they can get the money that they're owed from taxes this year.
I'm sorry, I was temporarily out of touch. I'm very sorry, Kevin.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, the plug-in for my IFB came out, so I couldn't hear.
Well,
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, I'll just say people are going to get big tax refunds next year, and the numbers are striking. He's correct about that.
You know, Kevin, I think I'm actually blushing. This is not makeup. This is me blushing. That's never happened to me before. Anyway, let me move on. Trump says housing affordability, a top priority for the new year.
Sure.
Watch this.
I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further early the new year. And you will see this in the new year. I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion.
Kevin, what does aggressive housing reform actually look like?
Right now, we're presenting to the president a sort of suite of options. We're having a big meeting about it tomorrow before the president flies to Mar-a-Lago for the holiday, and we expect a big announcement when we get back. But the bottom line is that if you look at the typical first-time home buyer, the median first-time home buyer, then their annual payment for their mortgage went up by $14,000 under Joe Biden because we had runaway inflation and much, much higher interest rates. And so that $14,000 hole has made it so that we've got like the fewest young people buying homes that we've ever seen, and the average age of a first-time home buyer is around 40 years old now. And that's something that's just much, much different than the history of American prosperity, and we're all in on fixing it, and the president's right. He's had everybody in the team meeting around the clock, really, to get him all the options that and we're going to present them to him maybe even tomorrow. And they've been really gone over with a fine-tooth comb.
So how long before you're going to present the changes tomorrow, how long before they're implemented and home buyers see some action?
Well, there are a lot of things that we can do with regulations to try to help get stuff, approved quicker. There are things that we could do through legislation by changing potentially the tax law so that people who don't itemize can get a mortgage interest deduction. That's one of the ideas that's possibly going to be floated. And we can also do things like reward states that make it easier for people to build a new home. There are lots and lots of policies on the table. And I think in the end, what you're going to see is with all the income growth that we're generating with the supply side boom that we've created, it's going to be much, much easier for people to buy a home. And when they do that, we want to make it much easier for them to build a home. I mean, if you look at what's happened, to the fires in California, there's only been like one home rebuilt so far. And that's because California is a regulatory nightmare for home builders. We're trying to come up with a way to use the federal government to fix that.
Can we get mortgage rates back below 6% anytime soon?
If you look at today's inflation report, there's lots of room, as President said, there's lots of room for the Fed to cut rates because right now core inflation's running about 1.6%. That's below the target.
I want to just go back to the tax refunds. They're going to be big and they're going to be immediately available. What about bigger paychecks? Are there some changes that have been made to the taxation which will appear in the form of a bigger paycheck for many people?
Oh,
early
sure.
Next year?
And that's already happening because we've got, we put on the corporate side, we put expensing in so that the firms have a big, strong incentive to build a new factory. And we've been following the new factory construction. There have been groundbreakings, more than 30 groundbreakings for factories that are, bigger than $1 billion investments. And that creates a demand for labor, which increases the wage. And again, in the jobs report we just got, wages are now increasing at a rate that's almost at 4%, which is much, much higher than the inflation rate.
Last one, Kevin. Senator Rand Paul's calling for an audit of the Federal Reserve. You're a favorite to be the next chair of the Federal Reserve. Do you like the idea of an audit?
I think that the Fed needs to be 100% more transparent than it's been, and I think that Senator Paul is right about the fact that whoever's at the Fed needs to just put all their cards on the table so we can understand what's really going on at that institution.
Got it. Kevin Hassett, what a pleasure to have you on the show this morning.
Thanks.
Don't be a
Great to be
stranger.
here.
Come back soon, please. Thanks very much, sir.